Good evening. This afternoon in this room, from this chair, as you know, indeed I did have a relationship with Mr. Winsky.
I don't know if you can, but can you get an owner for ONS? That's ONS Junior Market. The address is 1934 East Anaheim. All the windows are busted out, and it's like a free-for-all here, and the owner should maybe come down here and see if he can secure his business if he wants to.
Some anarchy. First spot we hit, it was my liquor store. I finally got all that alcohol I can't afford. With red lights flashing, time to retire, and then we turned that liquor store into a structure fire. Next stop we hit, it was the music shop. It only took one break to make that window drop. Finally we got our own PA. Where do you think I got this guitar that you're hearing today? Hey!
Call fire at Delaware. It's flaming up good.
And for Alameda,
when we returned to the pad to unload everything, it dawned on me that I need new home furnishings. So once again we filled the van until it was full. Since that day my living room's been much more comfortable, cause everybody in the hood has added up to here. It's getting hotter and hotter and harder each and every year. Some kids went in a store with their mother. I saw her when she came out, she was getting some Pampers. They said it was for the black man, they said it was for the Mexican, and not for the white man. But if you look at the street, it wasn't about Rodney King. Not this fucked up situation and these fucked up beliefs. It's about coming up and staying on top and screaming 187 on a motherfucking cop. It's not in the paper, it's on the wall. National Guard, smoke from all around.
Units be advised there's an attempt 211 to arrest now at 938 Temple, 938 Temple. 30 subjects with bands trying to get inside the CP's house. 6 are trying to kill them.
Good evening to everyone. An incredible Sunday to you and yours. I'm your host, PJ Boston, and this is another episode of Kyuss World Radio, number 21. Mac Attack, it's all about you today, brother. Oh, I got to bring you up, man. Sorry about that, bro.
What the fuck's going on?
Dude, we got,
Where am I at?
Dude.
What is this?
I'm getting ready for your trip next week. Little Mexican Radio. You and Oscar are going to be south of the border. Where you guys going? You going to Zacatecas? You going to Michoacan?
No. First, I'm going to Puerto Vallarta for a bachelor party. Then I'm gonna head over to Cuquillo, Jalisco.
Hey man, people who go to bachelor parties in Vegas are just kindergartners compared to the people who go to bachelor parties in Mexico.
Much.
But listen, I got to do this thing. We got a request for this track actually from our good friend. Tonight we're going to have an incredible guest. I talked to him earlier today. band out of the desert, Waxy. We're going to talk to Robert Owen. He's going to come on. He was super cool when I talked to him earlier, and we got an insane track list. Mac, we're going to debut 2 songs tonight. These songs are so exclusive that we got to talk over the beginnings and the end of them so that no one can steal them afterwards.
Cool.
Yeah, we got to do it like that. But you know the drill. This is Kyuss World Radio. This is the 21st episode. The last episode of Kyuss World Radio is literally still on the charts at the station with Dave Dinsmore. People can't stop downloading Dave Dinsmore. They love the guy. Yeah, it's so sick. That show was so incredible. And I think this playlist we got tonight from Robert, it literally rivals Dave's. So this is pretty good. We came out of the box with your theme song, April 26, 1992. Yep. Mac, you were out stealing Teenage Ninja Turtles and shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
7 years old. Hey, man, can you believe it was 25 years ago that the newscaster was like having this lost little kid, and it was your cousin, and your uncle had to go get him?
Yep.
Anyways,
I believe it.
Listen, we are the Kyuss World Radio crew. We normally do Metal Groove Radio, but the last Sunday of the month we do Kyuss World, and we've been doing it a lot lately. There's been so much going on in the desert. We're going to have a huge guest at the end of May, but we're going to get our stuff going on for tonight. You know the drill. We're broadcasting live from the nasty, dirty, shadowy subculture south of Market Street in San Francisco, California. We are literally at the corner of 7th and Market in the middle of the madness. Mac, did that guy try to rip you off when you bought those beers?
Dude, it was...
He tried to play you like that.
People just looking at me like...
Like, what's up?
I had my knife in my pocket. I was
You were getting ready to go? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to break ourselves with some more stuff, and then we're going to chat with our good friend Robert Owen, and guess who's going to be on later?
That
guy. Well, that guy. Have another one, Mac. Let's do this thing.
Those big cons are gonna love you, eh?
What do you mean?
You're a cute little guy. They're gonna be loving you from dawn until dusk.
Turn! Where are you gonna be?
I'll be in the cafeteria selling smokes.
Go ahead. Make my day.
There you go. Some Kyuss World Radio out there. If John Garcia tells you to stay the fuck out of Coachella Valley, then you better go somewhere else. You better go back to L.A. or something. Mac Attack, that was White Walls with Waxy, with John Garcia on vocals. That's a pretty nice track. And I had to kind of slide in here. Let me do this again real quick. But I got what's up, man?
No, I was just saying, I didn't think I was going to be having this much fun.
No, you,
I'm having fun.
Who's the third banana? If I turn, does that thing talk? That ET doll?
Nope.
So it just sits there.
Yep.
All right, I got to tell everybody the truth. iMac brought it's like a 2-foot tall ET in a sweatshirt. Mac, where'd you get that thing? Universal Cinema? Universal Studios, got you.
In Universal City.
But you can't like pull a chain, or you can't put like a DVD in them or something?
Nope.
He just sits there?
It's just the real thing.
That thing's tripping me out, man. I liked it better when it was over there. Now that that's funny. Well, listen, I told my good friend Robert Owen that we would be smart about when we play this next track. We're going to debut right now a brand new Waxy track. It's unmastered. The record's not quite ready to be out yet. This particular track is Never Was Enough. This particular track, and he just said, "Hey, man, tell me what you think." I listened to it before we came here. I love it. I was down, but I promised him I would chat a little bit over this thing because I don't want anybody to jack this thing. So here we go. Kyuss World Radio. This is Never Was Enough by Waxy. Let's check this thing out, yo. All right. Oh, that's pretty groovy. Oh, that's nice and groovy. Man, listen to that fuzz. All right. I talked enough. But man, that fuzz is nasty.
Boots on and kicking dust. This love not near enough. Lives in a world of make-believe. With guns and drugs and lust. Deal what the feeling does. Little taste turns to disease.
Waxy on Kyuss World Radio. Man, that is a nasty, badass track, man. That is world-class stoner rock right there. Waxy from the desert, man. And Never Was Enough. Man, that was a hell of a song. I'm going to play a track now, and then I'm going to get my good friend Robert on the line here. But he told me this track right here brings him back all the way to the beginning, so we'll ask him about it. There you go, Mac Attack. You fixing those headphones? You got that dialed in? Hell yeah, you're the man, brother.
Shit.
All right, listen. Now we're going to do what we love to do. We love to talk to the artists and hang out. I'm joined now by a badass desert cat who has mad pedigree. Mac, wait till I read off the accomplishments this cat's. He's recorded with everybody. He's mastered, engineered, produced. He's done all kinds of stuff. And his band played that sick-ass track, Never Was Enough, we just heard a few minutes ago. I'm joined now by Robert Owen. Robert, welcome to Kyuss World Radio, young man.
I'm on the line.
Dude, we got you, man. It's live radio at its finest. I have
This shit's working. If it was a mic, I'd bang it.
Yeah, no, nice job. Yeah, no, it's all good. You sound perfect, by the way, which we haven't had a guest. We haven't had a guest with a clean phone for a while. But
I'm sure I'll fuck that up here at some point. So don't worry.
You're doing fine, my friend. Now, I got some people. Everyone's trying to figure out how to listen But it doesn't do me good to tell them how to listen live when they're not listening because they're listening to last week's show.
That's a catch-22.
Happens every week. But we'll talk about how it gets all uploaded and everyone can get it all week. But Robert, man, thanks for joining us on Kyuss World Radio. Now, I guess you ran into our good friend Nathan down at the desert. Is that correct?
Well, that is correct, and it was really a great experience. A lot of people come to visit the desert, for a lot of different reasons, and one of those reasons is the history and the music that's been here. And, Nathan, was able to raise some funds to get down here. And, it's a great place. And meeting Nathan, face-to-face was really super cool. You're a great guy. He's a great guy. And, we all have this thing called music, that sort of connects us. And there's only two kinds of music, man. There's good and bad. Simple as that,
Well, he was thrilled, man. He just we've talked to him a couple times since then, and he can't even describe what it was like for him to get down there, and everyone embraced him and treated him so well. So he was all excited about that. Now, before I got you on the line here, I played that Jimi Hendrix track. What did you tell me that meant to you when you were a kid? You said you saw Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, well,
tell me, play that out for me.
I'm not sure if you played live at Monterey Pop.
No, I couldn't find that one. I did play a version of it, but the one you're talking about has the crazy ass guitar solo and all that stuff.
Well, if you love Jimi Hendrix like most human beings do, he was a major Bob Dylan fan, and when he, his debut as Jimi Hendrix was at the, '67 Monterey Pop Festival, which was an insane opening, first show in the U.S. as who he ultimately became as a solo artist or, as a band. That being said, when I heard Like a Rolling Stone live at Monterey Pop Festival, there's a moment where he says, just excuse me, he's playing the intro. He's like, excuse me for a minute, let me just play my guitar. And then he does this lick, and I just remember rewinding over and over, or maybe I wasn't able to rewind, but, I just watched that moment over and over and over and over again, and it just made me want to play this fucking guitar. I thought that was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. And he had such command over the music, and just anyway. So that was a real moment where I was like, I want to play music. I want to know what a lead is. I want to know how to write a song. I want to know what it is to perform and stand while you're playing. I started playing piano, and then I just, when you see someone standing up playing guitar and moving around, it's like I thought that was so incredible, and still do. But yeah, that was a big. Early moment for me saying, yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I saw Jimmy on I don't know, Night Flight or some TV show, and it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, way back in the day. Now, do you play the piano and the guitar? You play anything else?
I play a lot of instruments. Having owned a recording studio for 20 years, I've acquired a lot of things. I'm mostly an owner. Like, for instance, I own 6 drum kits, but I would not consider myself a drummer. Nice. But I own drum kits. Guitar is my primary instrument. I play a lot of bass guitar, though. I am in love with the bass. It's a real love affair. And I play keyboards. I couldn't sit down and play a bunch of Beatles songs and Tom Waits songs or whatever, but I can jam on it, and I love electric keyboards, so Wurlitzers, Rhodes, those kind of things, and you can put pedals to it. And I kind of treat it like a guitar. So I play a lot of fifths and roots, and I'll do some inversions and things like that. But primarily, it's, guitar or bass player and singer. Singing is.
Well, your singing's amazing, dude. You're a very good vocalist, no doubt about it. I was watching.
Thank you very much.
I did a little research, getting ready for the interview. I got to brush up on my Waxy, and I'm looking at it. Well, I have a question. First question. Tell them, and I do this to all the artists. Tell me about your rig. I've seen some videos of you playing some of the stuff. You look like you're playing an older Les Paul. What kind of guitar rig would you, if you did a show tomorrow? What would your rig be?
Well, for a long time, I discovered this guitar made by Hackstrom. Hackstrom is sort of like, I equate them to the Swedish Yamaha. I think, they made all different kinds of instruments, and most of them were just okay. Early in Hackstrom's career, so it's a Swedish company, Elvis played one of their guitars, I think when he went to Europe, whatever contract, whatever he had with them. And so I'm in this store in Santa Monica called True Tone, and True Tone's a real mainstay in Los Angeles. It's on the west side, but it's a wonderful instrument shop. Anyway, so I went there. I've been there from the beginning, and they've got it's a one-stop shop. You can get your guitar fixed, you can buy stuff. It's really, really great. Anyway, long story short, I go in there. I'm on this pedal experience, trying to find this tone of some fuzz and some modulating kind of pedals, and I never saw this guitar before. So, and I just kept picking it up, and I'm like, why do I like this guitar? It's got a bolt-on neck. It's kind of like a Les Paul copy. I'm not supposed to like this guitar. And I just kept playing it and playing it. And the best thing about it was like $750 in the store. And long story short, I bought it, and I've really kind of been playing it ever since. That was the time I was kind of looking for a guitar, like sort of a signature guitar, instead of maybe just playing a Les Paul or a Telecaster or this or that. And since then I've acquired 4 or 5 of them. I remember I gave one to Gary Arcee for one of his tours with Yawning Man, or they did a tennis thing. And the best thing about these guitars is they are affordable, they're vintage, and they fucking sound great. And I love the way they look. I put Bixies on all of them. And so, that's my guitar. And my amp rig is, right now, there's not too many pictures of me playing it, but I play a company called Luxtone. And there's this amazing, wizard extraordinaire amp builder who'll talk to you about different ratios of capacitors and all these, he's wild with his, with his knowledge, and he's super techie. But anyways, his company's called Luxtone, and he basically builds anything you fucking want. Wow. And so I have a stereo rig I'm using now. And then, not to be too long-winded, one of my favorite amps of all time is this very short-lived company out of New York called Plush. And there's a line of pedals now that are Plush pedals, and I've never really screwed around with those. But the amps back in the day, I think Jeff Beck used it for a minute, but they look like old customs. And so they've got the Naga height, so it's got that puffy look, and all different sparkle colors: red sparkle, black, wow, flat black, white, green. Most of them are black. And so for my big, loud, stadium rig, even though we don't play stadiums too often, is this Plush 4000G, and the fucking thing's amazing. It's just it's an awesome rig. So that's, gear. And then all sorts of different pedals. And I like rat pedals quite a bit for fuzz, wah-wah, whatever. I like to have a analog delay and a digital delay on a pedal board. And, all the fun stuff you can have on a pedal board.
Now, back to your tone, you were just talking about the different fuzz and what you do with, all the different sounds. Now, I listened to Never Was Enough, the unmastered version that's going to be coming out. That track is amazing, and the fuzz and the tone you have on that is amazing, but it's very different than the other track you sent me. Is this new record, is it all like that? Is every track got a whole different feel to it?
Well, one thing I've always battled in what Waxy ultimately is, and when I say battle, that's one of these things where sometimes I don't really give a fuck, but other times I think about it, is I've always, and the band, we've always wanted to have a lot of diversity from song to song to song. And some people get that, some listeners get that, and some listeners just don't. It's like... No,
some fans just want it to sound the same.
Bands in here.
I got you.
But in the end, we just do what we do. We write songs, and if we like them, we make them. And for this new record that's going to be called Unit A, we recorded 16 songs. We're putting, I think, 11 on the album. So, and I'll probably release an EP after that.
Now, you said this record.
I'm always screwing with my tone. And trying to, without sounding too corny, serve the song. And if it needs a big, wacky, nutty fuzz, I'll go for it. If it needs sort of a medium fuzz, I'll go for it. If it's a thin thing, I'll go for it. On the new record, though, I was very, very conscious of trying not to layer the guitars too much. Like just one thick-ass tone for the verses and maybe another guitar noodling around but not playing the same part, and then maybe coming in with the double and the choruses sometimes. But listen, I appreciate you listening to the new track, Never Was Enough. It's a very tormented song.
Yeah, I heard...
when recording this new album was a very, very challenging experience. A lot of things were coming to an end in my life, and as a result, a lot of new other things were just beginning. So on the new songs, even though you haven't heard the whole record yet, I think that probably comes through.
Well, you sent me that track, just like a couple of hours ago, and I listened to it a couple times, and just some of the words I heard, I was like, wow, that's pretty deep stuff. So it's very impressive. Now, I'm going to shift gears. I was watching the videos with you in the van. You guys jammed in the van over there. Now, what kind of experience was that like? I mean, you guys are stuck in that van. You guys are jamming out. I mean, how loud is it in that van?
Well, they've got small orange amps, and we actually could have brought our own drum kit. We just kind of followed their rules. There really weren't too many. First of all, Jam in the Van is an amazingly awesome concept, and those guys work really hard. So this was, I think, I guess it's about 2 years ago. And so they go from festival to festival to festival. So first they were at South by Southwest, and they came to Coachella, and we hooked up with them at Rancho de la Luna. They were parked there for 2 or 3 days. And, we're all very good friends with, Dave Catching and DOC and a lot of other people and up there. So we were welcomed. Rancho is a home away from home, although I haven't been hanging up there as much lately. And yeah, so we had a jam in the van session. Eagles was there that night, so Paso Justin was that same day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it's just fun. It's a reason to get together and play some music and be part of a really large family. I mean, they have I think over 10,000 songs. I mean, however many bands that is, and it's actually a great way to check out new music, like people that go in the van. I mean,
I ended up falling down the YouTube hole because I was watching you, and then I'm like, oh, look at these guys jammed in the van, and then these guys, and I just kept watching them, and I got to program the show, so I better stop.
No, it should be on everyone's radar. New music lovers or at the all levels of music. It's a really, really kind of a cute way to see someone perform.
Now, talk to me about the current Waxy lineup, because if I'm correct here, we've got we've got Jeff Bowman on drums, right? Now, Jeff's been around forever, right? I mean, he was in Mondo. He's played with everybody, right?
Jeff is as quality and classy of a human being as you can be. I mean, you can't do better. You can just do equal. So he's a family man. He is, and he's a monster fucking musician. He really is.
That's for sure. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Punk rock is at his core. Fast beats on the ones. He's the twos and fours. He is he's got great timing. He's been able to develop over all these years of playing, and he gets the overall picture. He's not just a drummer. He understands song and song form and arrangement and all that stuff. So I've been very lucky to play with him, and we've been playing with him for about 3 years. When I say we, I'm also talking about Damien Latiero. Now, Damien Latiero has really started life as a guitar player and was really gracious about kind of, changing and playing bass with Waxy. I think at the time when he first started playing, he's been playing with me and in the group for 6 years. And he's one of my closest friends. But they both are, Jeff and Damien both. And Damien's another. He's a monster musician. He's been in and out of so many great bands, local bands, and, toured early on in life. And he's really become an amazing family man and this great provider and just this. They both have a lot of wisdom at a younger age,
From doing it for so long.
So Wax is merely a three-piece. Now, we've been through so many incarnations over the years, and that's, for a long time it bothered me, and then I just sort of let that go, and it's like, it is what it is. If people want to play, great. If not, I'll fucking go solo. I'll play myself, which I've done many times.
Yeah, you can't make
I've also done just guitar and drum shows, which I actually like quite a bit because you don't have to worry about anyone else's notes. You just kind of fuck around and hope whoever you're playing drums with keeps up, Yeah,
well, we I'm a big business fan. We go see Cody and Jared when they come by. I mean, two people can rock the house, that's for sure.
Yeah,
we do.
I mean, now I don't prefer just guitar and bass. Guitar and drums, or even just bass and drums, which I think it actually makes more sense. But there's a lot of cool things you can do for sure, and it's. If your bass player can't make it to the gig, it's not a reason to not do the gig. You know what I mean?
Might as well let it rip. Now what's the plan next? Do you have any sort of rough date for Unit A to be coming out, the next record?
Well, we have a very, very good relationship with this distribution company out of Glendale called Cobra Side. And Randy Boyd runs it and John Pastor runs it. And they are Toronto, Canada, transplants to LA. And they're righteous people, man. They supply Los Angeles and beyond. They have over, I think, 25,000 titles, almost all on vinyl. They've got some cassette, some CD. And they supply orders all over the world. Not just Southern California or this region of, the western region of the United States. So we are going to, release it through them, which means, they have a monthly letter that I think this is the new titles that they have. And there are a few stores across the world that might be interested in picking a few up, but we are extremely and independent. For years and years, I had this recording studio, and we could really develop there. So we are going to release it. I'll put it on our website. I will certainly let Kyuss World know about it.
Awesome.
But we're really a mom and pop operation. We would love to be, on a label or have a family that can help us with tours and marketing and things like that. But we just haven't really found a partner that we want to do that with yet, you know?
All right. Well, so there's no...
Unfortunately, by the way.
Well, that's okay.
Not out of choice, just sort of this is what the deal we've been dealt, so we're just trying to be smart, you know?
So we don't know when it's going to be released, but we'll keep our eyes peeled and listen for that. Now...
Oh, yeah, so that was a long answer for no info. So the record is done. It needs to be mastered and manufactured, and I will finish that in the month of May. So June, July, this summer, the record will come out.
Now, what's the next plan tour-wise? Do you guys have any dates lined up yet, or you guys got any plans for that?
We don't really have any plans. I mean, it's embarrassing to say that. You know, we do play shows now and again. We will probably get a show at the Echo. I'm talking to them. Bigfoot Lodge in Los Angeles, they have a residency. We might do that 1 month over, you know, every Thursday night they'll have a residency at Bigfoot Lodge in, I think, Atwater in Los Angeles. So we might do that. And there is talk about touring. I mean, you know, we just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But I think I'm going to really just kind of make a tour on my own, you know. So we can tour in the Basque Country almost any time we want. There's places in, obviously, Germany, although those things have changed quite a bit, and also Italy. So, but there's nothing concrete right now, but we'll focus on that in the coming months.
When was the last time you guys came up to the Bay?
We played with Wino. We played at, I'm trying to remember the name of the club. You would know it. And that was about 3 years ago now. And that was great. It's not Under the Hill. It's
maybe the Parkside or Bottom of the Hill?
Parkside,
down the street from...
We played Parkside.
No, I think I remember when Wino was in town, yeah.
We had a great show that night. We had a lot of fun. We played 3 shows with Wino. And that was really, that was a good time.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say I think you guys are going to end up here sooner than later because there's a lot of stuff going on up here. Yeah, no, it's great. Well, shit, dude.
San Francisco is legendary in so many ways. Obviously, the DJ scene, but the rock and roll scene has always been there. We have played up there at the Voodoo Lounge. Is that right?
It was up there. Yeah, there's a lot of good places to play.
Yeah,
there really is up here. Bottom of the Hill, the Parkside. I was at a show recently at the Hemlock. It was amazing. You know,
Hemlock. I love that little room.
Yeah, that place
is... You get 30, 40 people, 50, you know, locked up in there, and you're going to have a sweaty, righteous, bitchin' fucking time, you know?
We just saw Big Business in there with Pins of Light, and it was amazing. It was
you know, sometimes, you know, small rooms are great.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with a small room, you know?
Bring your earplugs, that's for sure. No doubt about it. Well, listen, Robert, we've had you on here for about 20 minutes. I don't want to take all of your evening, but you've been an amazing guest. Is there anything else you want to cover or anything else you want to do with us?
Well, listen, I like I said in the beginning, or I think I said it, I have a lot of respect for you and what you're doing and being able to corral this world of you know, alternative rock and roll, you know, stoner rock, whatever, people and beyond. And like I said, from the beginning, there's 2 kinds of music, good and bad. It really is that simple. And then I break it down further. There's 2 kinds of music listeners, people that go see live music and people that don't.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that like good music and go out live, you know, those are our kind of people. And I'm just happy to be part of a group and a family of appreciators and lovers of music, and I really appreciate being on.
Well, I appreciate that. We've had a lot of your colleagues on. We've spoke to Chris Hale, Damon Garrison, John Garcia, Mario Lally. We've talked to Mike Pygmy. We've talked to Nick and Mike from Horns, Artie and Mike from House of Broken Promises, and all these guys, they all seem to get along really well. They seem to play in each other's projects and help each other out. Before I go, I want to ask you, what do you think that's like? How did the desert become such a big family like that, where everyone, you know, where it works out like that? Is it just ingrained in the area?
You know, every city has its scene. You know, they really do. I mean, there's always going to be, whether it's in high school or college or beyond that. I mean, there's people that, you know, when you learn how to play an instrument, it's like learning a new language. But so at first it's difficult, or there's not much joy necessarily. But you just know at the end of that tunnel, when you can start expressing yourself, you're going to have a really cool time. And then maybe you'll start playing with other people. And that the music scene in the desert here has always been pretty organic. It just kind of happens, whether it's a schoolmate or other bands and things like that. And Palm Springs and the desert cities has grown just the way all of California has grown. The population's come bigger, more and more and more, and the more people there are, the more different interests people are going to have. So music is, for me and for people that do it for a long time, it really is a way of life. You know, it's sort of just, whether you're making money with it or losing money with it, you know, it's something that's a way that you can express yourself the way a painter would with a brush, or the way a stand-up comedian is with a microphone in his hand speaking to an audience. So it's just the arts and music for me is an enhancer of life, and that's why we do it. As far as how the scene develops down here, you know, it's just people play music, they bump into each other, and, you know, I remember my early tribulations were, I can't find a drummer, you know?
Right.
Solve that one, you know, and then you can't find a bass player, you know? And so you just sort of, that's why Damien kind of picked it up. So, you know, you sort of with like-minded people, and if you go see live music, like I'm one of those people that sees live music, that's where musicians go.
Right.
You know?
No, I'm with you.
Things just spout from there. And by the way, speaking of Mike Pygmy, he's playing drums on that song "Never Was Enough."
Oh,
so he's
really?
known as a guitar player, punk rocker extraordinaire beyond. Plays bass with John Garcia. He is an outstanding drummer. And before I was playing with Jeff, I was doing a lot of jamming with Mike, and he ended up playing drums on that track. And he's fucking amazing.
Mike,
I mean, it's like not fair that he's that good at everything.
And he's a great guy. Yeah, that's for sure.
And he's a righteous dude. I mean,
everyone
he's
loves
cool
him.
as fuck. And he's on the road right now with John and John Garcia. So anyway, you know, you become friends with people with like interests, and I think maybe that's how the scene sort of gets created.
All right, now, so listen, I'm going to rip this song Repeater. Now, you told me a little story about Repeater. I don't know if you want me to repeat the story about Repeater, but should we?
Well, Repeater is sort of like, I put it song number 5 on the album, and that's really at the halfway point. Sort of like this, almost like elevator music. It's like spooky polka music, and I'm playing everything on it. I just love the groove. And so it's this very circusy thing, and I think the band, we're going to walk on stage to that song, starting from our new wave of shows that we have coming up once we get our shit together. And anyway, so I recorded Sean and Xander's one of their records. I recorded 12 or 13 of their songs, and I've known Sean for years, but, you know, we got closer as adults doing that, and I was on the road with him, and when they were opening up for Flogging Molly for a few shows. Anyway, long story short, I thought, you know, Sean is the resident Tom Waits of the desert, and I mean that with the highest compliment. Right. No one necessarily likes to be compared to someone else, but Tom Waits is a fucking genius, and Sean is just an extraordinary character, you know, and he's been very much appreciated of the last few films, of the 2 films that have come out, and his own career has really blossomed, and more so than maybe even before, and whatever. So I always imagined him being on this track, and so we went back and forth on the phone like 6, 7, 8 times, and he was either just working on another record with Fatso, or working with his own, or this, or with Brand, or whatever it was. He ultimately ended up not being able to come in, but he's left me a few voice messages like, it's like, it's not you, it's just, you know, my, you know, this or that. And I was like, and that was cool. Like, I wasn't offended at all. And then as I was mixing this song, I'm like, it's an instrumental. Let's put this phone message on at the end, which, you know, obviously I'm not the first person to think to do that. And it would just work perfect.
Now, I guess the question is, does he know it's on there?
Would be on the end of the song. And it kind of comes through halfway. And, you know, instrumentals are not necessary. I mean, they're easy to get lost in it. So having that come through right at the middle towards to the end, I don't know. If I was a listener, like, it would perk my ears up. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what is that?
Something new.
Now, the question...
And, anyway, that's kind of how that happened. I don't mean to be so long-winded, but
the question is...
But Sean was super cool with it, and it worked out perfect.
So he doesn't mind that he's on there, that he's cool with that?
Oh, no. I don't steal shit from anybody.
That's awesome.
Well, it's cool. You know?
Well, I should say, we just saw Sean a couple weeks back. He was at Slim's with the Bramp York show, and he came out. Yeah. And he sang Dave's War, and it was incredible. So he hasn't lost a beat. He hasn't missed a beat. He's great. But there we go. We're gonna.
Yeah, he's really one of a kind. He's been through hell, and he's come back, and he's really an example for a lot of people how you can get your shit together and have a really wonderful time doing it. You know, I look up to him quite a bit.
Robert, we are going to let you go. You, my friend, have been an incredible guest. I'm going to play Repeater right now. We're going to in the second hour, we're going to finish your set list that you sent for us. But thanks again from Kyuss World Radio. Thanks from Nathan and myself, PJ. My buddy IMAC just ran down the hallway here because some pretty girls walked by. But but thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
PJ Boston, you rock, brother. Call anytime.
Thank you, man. There you go.
Go. Bye.
Awesome. We got Robert Owen from Waxy, and we're going to drop some of this. But I promised him I would talk a little bit at the beginning so no one can jack this stuff, yo. Kyuss World Radio. Kyuss World Radio.
Go ahead. Make my day.
We're looking for
Kyuss World Radio. Look, my good friend Mac Attack's back. Mac.
What's up?
Hey, man, I want to thank my good friend Robert Owen of Waxy. Man, I love how transparent that guy was. He had no problem talking about all that stuff. Man, he was into it. You can tell how much he loves the music in the desert. And I forgot to ask him, man. It must have been, if it was 90 in South City, man, it was probably 150 in the desert today. But, Mac, y'all good?
Always.
All right. Yeah, no, I was checking on that. You missed it, man. I just played Volbeat. It was fucking heavy and groovy and awesome. And before that, we heard Repeater, which was hilarious because Sean Wheeler was making excuses on the answering machine for that track. But listen, we're going to drop some more Waxy. I got some stuff from their second record coming out in a couple of minutes, but we got to pay the bills here on FCCFreeRadio.com. So check this out, yo. Let me see if I can figure this out. You ready for the cue, Mac?
You are listening to FCC Free Radio, San Francisco's #1 internet radio station. Find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for FCC Free Radio and like us.
Don't just listen to music, experience it. Wells Audio manufactures and sells a full range of home audio equipment to take your system to the next level. And it's all built right here in the US of A. Find out more at www.wellsaudio.com. Mention FCC Free Radio and receive 10% off of your purchase. Wells Audio. Listen with your heart.
The Little Black Egg. A great choice for your screen printing needs in the Bay Area. The Little Black Egg has experience and know-how when it comes to putting ink on garments. From t-shirts to tote bags, hoodies to hats, and everything in between. Competitive pricing, low minimums, and no maximums. San Francisco-based Little Black Egg can work with individuals and businesses.
Is it
and
little?
Can get the garment and brand you want.
Is it little?
Need screen printing?
Bigger than little,
Find
right?
us on Facebook, Twitter, or through our website, thelittleblackegg.com.
Man, Nathan found the big green egg van driving around.
You are listening to FCC Free Radio, San Francisco's #1 internet radio station. Make sure to tune in to What's Really Happening show, Sundays at 12 p.m. in Studio 2B, only on FCC Free Radio.
Yeah, that's the truth, Mac. We always do the little brown egg, and then you brought this. Let me fire up my Mexican radio again. You think it's orange? It's like maroon colored.
No, I said burgundy.
Burgundy, maybe? All right. And then Nathan saw the big green egg van, and he was like, dude, we should upgrade sponsors. I should talk to the big green egg people. But the Little Black Egg, they're not messing around. They got it dialed in. We're going to listen to some Waxy off the... I thought it was the second record. I was lost in all my technology. But we got the debut Waxy record. This is a track called To Get Closer.
we're ever going to earn paper money, we have to expand our operation.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
mass of the few in this tornation. The priest, the book of the congregation. Politics who rob and hold down your zone. For those who give the thieves the key to their homes. The pig whose feet are murder one shall clap. What survivors who make a move and murder one back. The fight is written on this song. The power that's being my song. The mass of the few in this tornation. The priest, the book of the congregation. Politics who rob and hold down your zone. For those who give the thieves the key to their homes. The pig whose feet are murder one shall clap. What survivors who make a move and murder one back. Mic check. I'm in the intimate with the rock shot. Mic check. I'm in the intimate with the rock shot. Mic check. I'm in the intimate with the rock shot. Mic check. I'm in the intimate with the rock shot.
Could I buy some pot from you?
Hypnotized by the endless illusion, the days are memories. Killing time just to break the confusion and cope with this.
Kyuss World Radio.
That was fucking trippy.
Devo on Kyuss World Radio, yo.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
All right.
Let's rip.
The devil's whip will rule your life forevermore. Let's ride, let loose, let's rip. That's right, you can't escape the devil's whip. Devil's whip, I see you around. Devil's whip is dragging you down. Devil's whip, I see you around. Devil's whip is dragging you down.
You had a nervous breakdown, eh? Me too when he was born. Take off, you hoser.
Here lies my panic, all the simple ways of repeating, and all the time it takes. Feels like derailing, going much too slow. Buried in that moment, and try to let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Sinking in the foothills, shivering and proud, left in the big sand, crashing to the ground. Never forget, never forget, never forget your prize. Never forget, never forget, never forget your prize. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Never forget your prize. Never forget, never forget. Never forget your prize. Never forget, never forget. Hang around your life, drop to your knees. Know when to stop, but you love the disease. Here lies my panic, right here by your side. Feels like derailing, going much too slow. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Never forget your prize. Never forget, never forget. Never forget your
Kyuss World Radio, number 21. We are cruising through our Sunday evening. Mac Attack and I were just reliving our vacation, which I'm going to bring up with the bearded one because I have a question for him. But that was Fatso Jetson with Let Go. Earlier, we had a nice little conversation with Robert Owen of the band Waxy. And as I'm playing some more of this Waxy, man, those guys are groovy. I'm super down. So let's do this. There's a guy in Wisconsin. He said it was cold and rainy today. but he is certified the nicest guy ever. Nathan Lawver. Nathan, welcome to Kyuss World Radio number 21.
Hey there. How's it going,
It's going good. You know, I was thinking about you when no, it's true. Well,
all the time.
No, but you just had your pilgrimage to the desert. Now you've been home for a couple weeks though, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Can't wait to get back there.
No, and you know what happened to me is I'm old and I've been on vacations a bunch of times back and forth to the East Coast and everything. But like me and Mac, we were just looking at some videos from when we went back to the AFC Championship game. And it's just so weird when you go and you do all this stuff someplace else and you see all these new things and you get into this new environment and everything. And when you get back home and you get back into the routine again, you know, like I run the metal deli, right? So I'm in there making like 8 gallons of chili at the deli. And I'm thinking to myself, like, did all that just happen? You know, are you still finding yourself on your way to work thinking, did that really all happen?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
I have to look back at the pictures to realize what happened to me a few weeks ago.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you met Robert from Waxy when you were out there, and you were laying it out. You were at someone's house, and you were talking to us, and he was there.
I was at Brandon Henderson's house. He's a desert musician. He was most notably probably on Brant Bjork's Gods and Goddesses album, played lead guitar on that.
Oh, that's a great record, man.
He gave us a little respite from the desert heat and rehydrated us, and I laid on his grass and talked to you guys for a little bit. And then Robbie showed up, and he brought a couple of Waxy records for me and the guy I was traveling with, Brian Seckman.
Nice.
And since I got back home and started playing that record, it's just like I can't stop with it.
Yeah, no. When you told me he was interested, I was like, okay, all right. Well, I can't argue with that logic. And then I got the tracks. You texted me halfway through that first track, and man, Never Was Enough was the name of that song. Boy, that's a nasty song. That was awesome.
Yeah, there's some really, really great tunes on there, and he's got a lot of guests on that record too. Mario and Gary, Alfredo Hernandez, Jesse Hughes, John Garcia.
Yeah, so he's got some. He was pretty humble when we were talking to him, but he's got a lot of connections. He's been doing it a long time, and they obviously respect him quite a bit. So it was really nice to have him on. So
absolutely,
that was awesome.
He's got a lot of insight into the area for sure.
Yeah, and we were talking off the air. It's interesting that they have so many big. I mean, you guys just went to the big Stoned and Dusted, and you guys had the big weekend down in the desert. But him and I were chatting about how they can put on these huge shows. Like, London's got a Desert Fest. They put them all over, and they do real well with them. But it doesn't seem like they can promote something that big down there. Although you just had quite a weekend, but it's interesting. There's so many artists down there, but I always seem to see Mike Pygmy and Greg Sines and John and Aaron. They're always over in Europe.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. We got to the desert and we went to the Palm Canyon Roadhouse for lunch, and we're at the flyers posted all over the place. John Garcia's playing there, and the bartender had no idea who he was.
I mean, how hilarious is that, right?
They're huge over in Europe, but you even go down to the desert and no one knows who they are.
Crazy. Wow, that's
wild.
Yeah, no, I don't think the bartender knew who we were at the Jack Shaft show last week either. But she did compliment us on our way out. And I'll tell you, Robert, man, he can sing. All the videos and all the stuff. He's an exceptional talent, his guitar playing and his singing. So I was really happy to have him on. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've been blown away by it since, man.
Hey, Nathan, this beer is for you.
Oh, Mac just cracked open a humongous beer for you.
That sounds tasty.
Hey,
we like beer here in Wisconsin.
Hey, I was asking Kara and Francis when they were on last week about when they met you for the first time, like in reality, like in real life, like right in front of you. I said, "What'd you think?" They said, "Man, he's tall." So we got to get.
Maybe they're just exceptionally short.
Yeah, maybe because me and you got to get together because we'll be like Mutt and Jeff. Because I'm like 4'10" with my heels on, so it's all good.
It's like Schwarzenegger and
like DeVito.
DeVito, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Well, that's perfect.
Twins.
Exactly. Now, do you have any other hidden musical gems that you found in the desert when we were while you were out there?
Oh, so good. We hung out with a local guy named Jason Hall who's working on a record label, and he has some unreleased.
Nathan. Nathan, you know what? Your phone's breaking up a little bit, bud. And did you say that dude's name was Jason Hall? Jason Hall, yeah. Oh, there you go. You're perfect now. Coming back. So tell me all that again. Jason Hall and what else?
Yeah, he played the new Wizards album.
Uh-huh.
And the Wizards is, I'm trying to remember the lineup properly, but pretty sure Mike Pygmy is in it. And he's releasing that, and I'm sure you've probably seen some of the postings on Kyuss World.
Yeah.
He also played us some of Sean Wheeler's album, Sun Trash, and that was really good too.
Yeah, Sean was great with Brant when we saw him, and you guys saw him. He was down there with you guys too, huh?
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, I saw the videos of it, which reminds me, I don't want to take up too much time because I have some music to play tonight.
Sure.
And we did have quite an interview earlier, but I got one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How tripped out are you over all these slow burn videos that are coming out from the show Friday night?
That's one thing I hoped you were going to talk about too, because everyone's tripping out about this, man.
Wow.
20 years.
Yeah.
20-year span in between shows, man.
And you know what? And John is John, and he sounds great, and I love him, and I love the tracks and everything. But you know, man, Chris's guitar sounds huge. He sounds amazing. Yeah. The band sounds great. I can't wait to talk to Brady and Damon and everybody. But it's just so, I mean, it's amazing, like social media now, right? Like we're all like, I mean, literally minutes after the show goes down, we're like, where are the videos? Upload this shit. Get to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah.
I wish I was there. I'm really hoping to get to Las Vegas in August to see them.
Oh, that might work out.
Just amazing.
Now, before I let you go, did you happen to catch last week what Mark Lewis said about the Oceanside Generator Party? Did you catch that?
No.
Yeah, last week on Metal Groove Radio, we had a little chat with Mark just to say thanks for the big show on Saturday night, and everybody came out, and it was amazing. But I asked him what the plan was for Doors to Nowhere, like what are you guys going to do now? And he said, we're going to keep up the schedule that they have and all the shows they're doing. But in August, he's working on a Oceanside Generator Party. I know he's got a couple of big bands. I think he's working on Fatso. I think he's got Mike Pygmy's crew, you know who, trying to get them up here. I think he's working on Mondo. It depends on people's schedule. But it looks like we may have a Santa Cruz Oceanside Generator Party right around August sometime. So, yeah.
Damn, how am I going to travel to all these places to see all these shows? Man?
But you did say that you would love to come out and check out the Bay, so there you go. Kill two birds with one stone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. So we could do that. But he invited Jack Shaft, which is like the biggest honor I can say thank you to. But the point is, though, how crazy would that be?
That would be crazy.
So, anyways, cool. Nathan, I'm gonna do some heavy metal right now and drop this thing like it's crazy. But, dude, thank you. We've done 21 of these. I think we cracked the code. I think everyone is taking us seriously, and all I can say.
I think so too. Hopefully, next month plays out.
Well, I don't want to. I'm not going to jinx anything, but next month could be huge. So, but Nathan, thank you on behalf of IMAX Beer.
You got to try my ribs.
Yeah.
one time.
Mac wants to
ribs tonight too.
Mac wants to feed you. He's like, "Come on out, we'll feed you." All right, listen, Nathan. Thank you very much.
The trip right there.
Thank you very much, and I will talk to you soon, my friend.
All right, take it easy.
There you go, brother. Nathan,
motherfucking lover.
You just blew my mind.
Up to now, I used to pass my time drinking beer so slowly, sometimes wine. No God, air, water, or sunshine, and honesty was my only excuse. I took your love and I used it. Up to now, my youthful stage, a useless range, a torn out page, a worn out gauge, a dirty shade of picture has been made, and honesty was my only excuse. I took your love and I used it.
Kyuss World Radio, number 21, yo.
I tell you what's on my mind. It's butt cold out here, and I'm fresh out of beer.
My friends are so depressed. I feed a question of your loneliness. I'm fine, 'cause I'll be on your side. No, I
Kyuss World Radio coming down the stretch. Got a lot of people to thank, man. Robert Owen, the brainchild behind Waxy, and man, his act and his crew is awesome. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. I can't wait till that record drops so we can play more of it. Nathan Lawver, Kara, the LDP Miguel, my man Frank Sheridan. Frank, I love you 10 times, but he's leaving town soon, man. I got to see him. I got a present for him, so I got to see Frank one more time. Our good friend Jamie Lee Wood, Mario and Dino Lally, Chris Hale, Damon Garrison, Brady, John, the guys in Slow Burn, fucking Break a Leg guys, that's awesome. Mike and Arthur and Joe and House of Broken Promises, Mike Pygmy, Dylan Brown, all those guys.